Hello, I'm Greg Kite. On today's episode of Championship Wealth, I want to share with you why some of the wealthiest people in America never leave their equity trapped in real estate.
And Greg Kite was tagged. Both coaches have come on to try to cool things down. And Tommy, that was a very rough takedown.
At first, this may seem counterintuitive. After all, most people are taught to pay off their home as quickly as possible and build equity. But here's the reality. Wealthy families think differently. They know equity left sitting in a property is not working for them. So let's walk through the 12 reasons why the wealthy never leave equity trapped in real estate. Reason number 1, debt equity earns a zero rate of return and doesn't drive appreciation. Imagine two identical homes, both worth $1 million. One's completely paid off, the other has $1 million mortgage. A year later, if both appreciated by 10%, each would now be worth $1.1 million. That appreciation happened because of the market, not because of how much equity was in the property. The owner with no mortgage tied up $1 million to get the same $100,000 increase as the other owner who had tied up nothing. That's why the wealthy avoid debt equity. It earns nothing and ties up everything. Rule number 2, equity is not liquid, especially when you need it most. You can't write a check against equity. To get it, you either have to borrow it or sell. And here's the kicker. When you need money the most, that's when it's the hardest to access. Think back to 2008. The banks tightened the lending, property values dropped, and people who thought their equity was a safety net suddenly realized it wasn't accessible at all. Reason number 3, opportunity cost is huge. Every dollar sitting in the walls of your house is a dollar you can't put to work elsewhere. Wealthy investors are also masters at keeping money in motion, flowing to higher yielding, tax advantaged opportunities. Leaving equity in a property is like keeping your best player stuck on the bench when the game's on the line. Reason 4, no protection of your equity in a market downturn or natural disaster. Here's a hard truth. In a crash, equity disappears first, but it's not just about the market you have to worry about. Think about the recent wildfires in California, where homes worth, say, $5 million burned to the ground. Some owners there couldn't even get proper insurance coverage or were only partially covered for, say, $2 million. That's an extra $3 million of equity, literally, that went up in smoke. Equity isn't bulletproof. Once it's gone, it can be gone forever, or at the least take many years to build back. Reason number 5, equity erodes cash flow. The more equity you have sitting in the home, the less leverage you have. With lower leverage, you miss out on tax deductions and end up with weaker returns on the equity. This is why investors who pay off properties often feel stuck. Asset rich, but cash flow poor. Number 6, no tax advantages. The equity in the walls of your house doesn't give you a single deduction. Yes, many people no longer itemize on their tax returns. However, without proper tax planning, you could be missing out on valuable advantages that keep more money in your pocket. Reason 7, inflation, market cycles, and long-term appreciation. Yes, homes tend to increase in value over the long haul, but not in a straight line. On the average, markets may lose real value or stall every 7 to 10 years. Over long periods, U.S. homes have historically appreciated at 3.4% nominal annually. Some researchers cite a 4.27% average return from 1967 to 2024, but net of inflation, real growth is indeed modest. That's why counting on trapped equity to grow isn't nearly as powerful as you think. Reason 8, equity exposes you to lawsuits. Think about it. Attorneys and creditors go after visible assets. A property loaded with equity is a juicy target. By keeping equity minimal, the wealthy reduce their exposure and protect what they've built. Reduced leverage efficiency, reason number 9. Wealthy families use what we call good debt. They'd rather control $10 million in assets with $2 million of their own money than tie up the full $10 million. That's how they maximize returns on investment. Lazy, idle equity destroys that efficiency. Number 10, forces people to seek higher risk on other assets. If too much money is trapped in real estate equity, it leaves less flexibility to diversify into safer or counterbalancing investments. The wealthy avoid overconcentration because they want multiple streams of predictable returns. One of my favorite places for a safer home for money is the laser fund because it combines liquidity, safety, and predictable tax-free growth. Reason 11, legacy planning inefficiency. Equity often slows down wealth transfer. It can trigger probate, estate tax headaches, and delays in getting wealth into the hands of heirs. For estates that have more than one beneficiary, a laser fund can be a simple way to allow each heir to receive their share quickly, without squabbling, delays, or wasted time. That's why the wealthy prefer vehicles that pass outside of probate, tax-free, and with speed. Finally, reason number 12, better alternatives exist. Here's the biggest reason. There are simply better places to put that money. Vehicles like a maximum funded, properly structured index universal life policy, a laser fund, will provide liquidity, safety, and tax-free growth. Instead of dead equity, money can be repositioned into strategies that build long-term generational wealth in a predictable and protected way. So there you have it. 12 reasons why the wealthy never leave equity trapped in their real estate. They understand that equity, while it may feel safe, is actually inefficient. Instead, they keep their money moving, growing, and protected. If you'd like to learn how to reposition your equity into a safer, tax-advantaged strategy, I'd love to show you the options available. You can learn more by clicking and scanning this QR code to receive the copy of Doug Andrews' bestseller, The Laser Fund. All I ask is that you have a little skin in the game by paying the shipping and handling for it, and we'll send that right out to you. Or if you'd like to schedule a consultation and find out if this might be a fit or work for you, book a call. Go onto our website at championshipwealth.com, book a call, or go to one of the links below, or you can register for one of our upcoming events where you can learn more, one of our virtual workshops that'll be upcoming. I hope you enjoyed our video today. Please comment down below. I'd like to hear which of these 12 reasons was the most surprising to you. I'm Greg Kite with Championship Wealth. I hope you enjoyed today's episode on the 12 reasons why the wealthy keep their equity separate from their properties. Let's get together and win a championship for you and your family. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you on our next episode.